Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen worldwide, to my YouTube channel Talking Health with Grandpa. Let me appreciate all of you for listening, viewing, subscribing and sharing all these topics to all others for their benefit. Today the topic we are going to touchlight is that deadly killing disease called cholera. Cholera is a deadly disease. It kills faster, that we need to wage war against it, and we need to prevent it at all costs worldwide. It affects male, female, young and old. It cuts across every living human being, and that's why we should wage war against it. And what is cholera? Cholera is an infectious disease caused by cholera fibro, which could be acquired through contaminated food and water. And that's why our hygienic condition worldwide must be optimal. Let's wage war against cholera. It kills faster. It's a deadly disease. Let's improve on our hygiene. And what happens? When anybody comes in contact with cholera, the incubation period of that deadly disease is 1 to 6 days. And what are the characteristics of this cholera? The characteristics is that when one gets in contact with it, it starts with abdominal pain, low fever or high fever, then leading to continuous vomiting and passing of watery stool at the same time. And that is where dehydration comes up. That individual loses a lot of electrolytes, and if care is not taken and thorough and proper sound treatment is being given, then it's unfortunate that individual may lose his or her life. And that's why it's very important for us to wage war against cholera. It's a waterborne, foodborne disease. And how do we prevent this? First of all, we have to improve our environmental sanitation, personal hygiene, food hygiene, water hygiene, and we make sure that our environment is not littered with either human waste or animal waste. Not only that, we have to buckle up our belt and make sure that our source of water supply is not contaminated. As I released very few days or months ago on who are the agents of water contamination, and I said man is one of animal, birds and all whatnot, even rodents. So we have to work critically and make sure we protect our sources of water supply so that it won't get polluted or contaminated. And even we must make sure that there are gaps between your borehole, gaps between your well, gaps even between your river source of getting water or brook or spring, away from contamination. So if it were to be either well in your environment, you are locating your well, make sure you don't locate the well closer to your socket pit or that a kind of, the environment should be gapped. Where you put your well, you don't put, it won't be near or nearer to the pit latrine or even to the socket pit or to the gutter, where water that is passing through gutter can have linkage between it. And you should not allow rodents in your environment, because rodents can create holes underground and link what? And link your source of water supply with the man waste. That is the socket pit or the pit latrine. Not only that, we must make sure that if we are using river, there is no chance for anybody to go and be washing clothes or taking bath at the bank of the river you are fetching water, or even dumping grounds, refuses into that source of water supply. If possible, the boundary of that source should be protected, fenced, and made clean, so as not to allow anybody, and make law that nobody should wash on this river, nobody should bath, nobody should swim, because all this can give us the way of preventing and fighting war against cholera. So also, it won't allow animal to dabble into that environment and defecate there and mess it up, and later people consume it and it causes a lot of problem. So also, where we are even preparing food for the public, we must make sure that we wage war against the agent of transmission. The agent of transmission, one, flies. In your home, don't allow flies. In your environment, don't allow flies. In your country, don't allow flies. Even in your community, don't allow flies. In your offices, never allow flies. Flies can travel far now where, and make sure it touches that specimen of either urine, vomiters, or excreta that contain that cholera fibro, and travel and bring it back to your food. That food that you prepare, you didn't cover it. It must be covered. That is part of war to fight against cholera. So also, don't allow cockroaches in your offices, in your homes, in your environment, in your kitchen. All these are deadly. Cockroaches will go inside the pit latrine and pick horrible things and come back home and touch your food. Either the food is open, maybe one because of one reason or the other, you fail to cover it up. If cockroach, if flies touches those food, it could be contaminated, and it can even lead to what we call cholera. Yes, it's a water and foodborne diseases. So let's be very careful. Not only that, our personal hygiene, don't allow fingernails, because if you allow fingernails, when you do dirty job, you can collect specimen of this, and when you forget to wash it thoroughly with your soap and water, and you put either fruit or anything into your mouth, you can get contaminated. It can get contaminated, and when you take it, then you can suffer that case. Not only that, make sure you wash all your fruits. Either you plug them in your house, you bought them outside. Don't just buy fruit and put it into your mouth. You don't know the water with which they wash that fruit. So it might be a contaminated water, and before you know it, it may cause wahala. So what I'm trying to say is that please and please and please, the only ways we can wage war against cholera is to optimize, once again, our personal, environmental, food, water, hygiene, so that we don't come in contact with all this type of problem. Not only that, the tanker we are using, that is the lorry we are using to collect water, raw water for building purposes, don't let us use it at all to collect water for drinkable purposes. No, it's wrong. It leads to, even we have in those good days discover cholera fibro in the water tanker during those old days when we are training. Yes, we discover it, and it's very dangerous. So please, ladies and gentlemen worldwide, please, the tanker drivers that are driving water tanker, always try to sterilize your tanker, wash it well, never use it to hold dirty water and bring it back and now lift water for people consumption. It's dangerous. One can connect cholera fibro through that. The water tanker the tank that you put on in your houses at the top should be washed regularly and sanitized with chlorine water purifier, so as not to allow the sedimentation to allow the exit or input or whatever existence of cholera fibro. So these are some of the areas we can start waging war. Beside that, let me let you know this. See, in our environment, in our villages, where they don't even have opportunity to have pipe-borne water, and they don't have the financial capacity or capability to do what? To sink borehole, but they have something. When they are together, they can go and join hands together and dig a kind of well, a well that will be free from contamination, and they guide it, and they monitor it, and they protect it, and they put law that never polluted this water, never wash here, never bath here. So all this will help our villagers at least to be free from getting cholera fibro through contamination, maybe contaminated water or food. Make sure you protect yourself, you protect the source of either water supply or food supply, and even when you are in your home house preparing food, you should be very careful during preparation, during service, and during preservation. You have to put the best hygienical condition so as not to come in contact with cholera fibro. Cholera kills faster, it's a deadly disease, has 1 to 6 incubation period, and before you know it, if that individual comes in contact, that individual starts having what? Having diarrhea, at the same time vomiting, at the same time restlessness. Even it can even go and cause mental illness, because when the electrolytes system in the body crashes, then there will be problem upstairs, that is in the central nervous system, the brain. So we have to work hard. And another way is that cholera has vaccine. Governments have been shouting day and night, go and take vaccine. Cholera vaccine is very important. You take it 6 monthly. When you take it, it protects you from getting cholera. But still, the most important thing among others are your cleanliness, your optimal environmental sanitation, food sanitation, water sanitation, environmental sanitation, and many other things. So also, you people that you are fond of maybe eating here and there, always watch the environment where you eat, where you drink, and don't allow, as I've said, flies, cockroaches, rodents, and all these dangerous agencies to contaminate whatever you are going to eat. So anytime you involve in very dirty job, make sure you wash your hands properly with soap and water. As I've said earlier on, never allow your fingernails to be long. I always cut my fingernails. My brother, my sister, uncle, please cut your fingernails so that you don't infect yourself and infect the family. And disposal of refuse, as I've said, where we have mass dumping, where they are dumping our refuses, we have to go there and sanitize that place and disinfect it, because flies can go as far as to the dumping ground, mass dumping refuse ground, and pick anything and come back home and contaminate people's source of food or water supply. Even rodent can do that. Even cockroach flies can do that. So let's make sure wherever we are dumping our refuges, we make sure we go there holistically. I mean, we make sure we do what? We fleet and disinfect it. And so also, even if in your bathroom, make sure when you wash your whatever, you make sure you disinfect your bathroom, your toilet, and not to allow cockroaches, flies to have access. So it's very important we wage war, and those are the machineries or tools we can use to wage war. Let's stop irrational eating, irrational drinking, irrational sitting where flies are assembly, where cockroaches are making their meeting, so as to protect our lives, because this life is very important. The life of everybody worldwide is very important, and I appreciate it. It's very important to me. That's why I thought it was I should not have rest until we have rest. And the rest is that until the whole human being, the world, in Nigeria, in Africa, in Europe, Asia, in the UAE, in the villages, in the cities, in the communities are healthier, and they are happier. So that is when I think I will have rest. So please join me, please join me to wage war against cholera. Wherever you are, make sure you do something to protect yourself. Optimal hygiene is very important. Optimal hygiene is very important. Don't forget your sanitation, environmental sanitation, food hygiene, water hygiene, personal hygiene, even gutter hygiene. Our drainage needs to be washed, and even when we wash it, we have to go there and sanitize it again. Make sure that we fleet it or we put antiseptics after washing to wash all those things, and we don't allow the gutter to be filled up with filters, so as not to allow contamination and allow either flies or cockroaches to start gathering in our environment and making their ceremonies. So don't allow that. So your life is very, very important. My life very, very important. Every human being's life, either male or female, young and old, far and near, very, very important. Let's wage war against cholera and see. If you see anybody having a kind of sign, before it's too late, isolate that individual and quickly take that individual to the hospital for optimal management. Say no to cholera. Say no to water contamination. Say no to food contamination. Say no to filthy environment. People who are defecating all around the environment should stop it. Stop it. If you think you are doing it, it may later affect you or affect somebody you know. And we should come together and work harder to make sure that all of us are healthier and we have that sound health in good position as to prevent short death and at least elongate our lifespan in a sound stage of life. So say no to cholera, say no to water contamination, say no to food contamination, say no to environmental contamination, say yes to perfect life, good health, and say yes to forward ever. God bless you. Once again, I'm come on board. Always listen, view, share, subscribe to my YouTube channel, Talking Health with Grandpa, or my Preventive Health. It's well with your soul. Amen.